Hi, Millie.
Hey, Linda. I put myself on mute for most of this meeting when people are talking.
Okay.
Only because there's two ladies down the far end of the hall, so where I'm doing this.
Okay.
So I'll just keep on mute and you won't hear them.
Okay.
Linda, should we do this with video or without video?
I think the members should do it with video.
Right, that would make,
Yes, how do I get the pictures on this? Hi, folks.
Hi.
Trying to
hi,
get,
Mike.
trying to get pictures. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I guess. Hey, Millie, you see me?
No, Mike, I can't. I can see myself.
I can see you.
Okay. I can't see Linda and I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be on video.
Be on video. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Now I got Mike.
I think we're in action now.
Mike, Kathy is your wife.
Yes, she is.
I knew Kathy from ages and ages and ages ago, and I thought that she was your wife, but then I wasn't sure.
Yeah, yeah, she is. I'm the lucky one.
There you go.
Are you in Florida?
Yes,
How is it?
we're in Bonita Springs. It's been great. Temperatures are nice. Sunday, it's going to have a real cold snap, 43.
Oh, might be warmer
But-
here.
Yeah, but other than that, it's been beautiful.
Good, good for you.
Leave here on Monday to start our way home, but we're coming home via New Orleans and Nashville.
Oh, nice.
We'll be home by the 1st of the month, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, good for you. Always nice to get away in the winter.
Yes, it is. Did the snow amount to very much today?
I don't know,
You had-
maybe three, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. It's not a ton, just enough to annoy you.
There you go. I don't think I can get out from underneath this light because this whole little hall space I'm in has ceiling lights like every 3 feet.
That's all right. You see, okay.
Yep.
Where's the board clerk? Is she here?
I'm here.
Hey,
She's
Linda.
there, but
Hi.
she's not gonna let us see her. Linda, my goodness, I was going through all those papers. This is like the 3rd time, but I did the last couple this morning. The
Mhm.
lady 66 sent.
Don't talk about anything in the meeting because we haven't started the meeting yet.
We haven't started it. No, this isn't, she's not on this meeting. But I won't tell you anything.
Everything you say right now is being recorded.
Okay, I was just amazed at how many field cards we got.
Mike, we have Julie, look, I have 6 people in the waiting room, applicants. I'm
Okay,
waiting for Tom to come on so I can get him in and then I'll let everybody else in. But one of
Okay.
them is Julie Lacasse and her appeal's not till the 15th. So I don't know whether she's confused or whether she just wants to listen in or.
yeah, well, I don't know. I guess you can't really jump in before anybody else, but if she wants to hang around to the end, maybe, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's up to you. I mean,
You know, if there's a space in the middle and somebody's not around, you know. Right? I mean, we've got people.
yeah,
do they
you'd have to amend the agenda to add her to the agenda.
You mean before we do it?
Mhm.
I mean, like right now?
No, not right now. I guess we should find out from her whether she's just listening in or whether she thought she was going to be heard today.
Oh, yeah. Have you spoken with her or just saw her on the Zoom?
I haven't spoken with her now. If Tom's not signed in by 7, what do you want to do? Do you want to just start without him or?
Yeah. Do we have what we need?
We have a quorum of you and Millie, yes.
Okay,
But before you start the meeting, let me get everybody out of the waiting room, but I'm going to give him another minute to see if he signs in.
okay,
As soon as I get everybody out of the waiting room, I'll let you know.
okay, thank you.
We seem to have lost Millie.
Oh, shucks.
So
I
we
guess
can't
we'll have to
really,
give her-
you can't start yet. I don't know
No.
where she went, but she's gone. See if she comes back.
Did
You have-
Tom indicate?
You
did
have her
Tom
phone
say-
number there?
Do I?
Yeah,
No.
sure.
Linda,
Yeah,
do we have a time when we're gonna deliberate?
not today.
No, I
No,
know.
It's
not
on your
today.
agenda to set a date, but the 16th right now works for Tom and Millie, but you guys can discuss it.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay with me, I guess.
I have almost all the applicants are here, except I don't have Millie or I don't have Tom.
Hmm. Well, we have to wait for them.
So she's trying to get back in. Okay, I got Tom. I can at least get Tom in here.
Okay,
All right, do you want me to let people in or what? Or
sure.
let's make sure we got Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
We're
Tom.
good.
Good.
We're, you have a quorum right now of you and Mike. Millie got kicked out of the meeting for some reason, and now she's trying to get back in.
Okay.
So, you can, the meeting can start, but let me get everybody out of the waiting room. Oh, we got Millie back again. Hang on.
Good.
Right, so see where it says start video?
Yeah,
When you see other people,
this Tomlinson's on somewhere.
Yeah, can you hear us, Mike?
Can hear you. Yeah, can't see you, but
can you see
can hear
him?
you.
No.
Oh, hold on.
There you go.
No, I'll start your video. Oh, there's Brad.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Billy back?
Oh, there's
Mhm.
I lost everybody.
Millie, are you there? Or maybe we can get started without Millie. Hopefully she'll.
Got a
log
couple,
in.
I have a couple more people that are joining.
Okay, you want to wait?
Um,
I'm here. Loretta Laparo.
Okay, I see, I hear you, Loretta.
Great, thanks.
Okay, Mike, I think we're good. If anybody comes in late, I'll let them in.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so welcome, everybody. This is the Columbia Board of Assessment Appeals. Today is March 9th, approximately 7 o'clock, 7:04. I'd like to take a roll call right now to see who's here. Tom Piro,
Here?
Millie Ramsey, not here yet, and Linda McDonald, Board Clerk and Facilitator.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm Mike Hamilton. So I guess first business is to ask for any additions or changes from the staff or the BAA members. Does anybody have any?
I have two items to change on the agenda, Mike.
Okay,
We're going to delete item 5G, which are the real estate appeals of Michael Hartling. He can't make this hearing, so his are being scheduled to the March 15th meeting.
okay,
And we're going to delete item 8, assessor recommended changes to the Board of Assessment Appeals, because the assessor has asked us to move that agenda item also to the March 15th meeting.
okay,
Those are the two I have.
all right. Anybody else?
And I just wanted to ask Ms. Lacasse about tonight's meeting, because she's not on the agenda. Her appeals are being heard on the 15th, and I just wanted to know if she realized that or not.
Yes, I did.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so not really sure if there's a vacancy somewhere in the middle or
Yeah.
toward the end. Maybe we could slide you and we could try to do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so do we have to approve the minutes from our December 15th meeting?
Mhm.
I make a motion to approve those minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Very good. All right, so moving on. We're going to hear your appeals. So ideally, we'd like to give you all around 15 minutes to hear what you have to say. Summarize what your appeal is, and we already have received some information, but you're willing to provide any additional information that you have at this time. And only the appellant can speak unless an affidavit has been submitted, and that shouldn't be an issue here because we're a pretty small group. Yeah, so you can provide additional information during this process. And before you start, you're going to have to be sworn in. So I guess our agenda calls for the first case is appeal of Loretta Laparo.
Hey, Miss.
Linda?
Yes, hi.
Yeah, I'm Miss
Go ahead.
Laparo. This is Linda, the board clerk. I will read one,
Hi.
and you replying in the affirmative. So you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
Okay. Can you just state your name for the record?
Loretta Laparo.
Okay, Mike, it's all yours.
Hey, Loretta, we did receive your appeal, but if you wouldn't mind just summarizing what your appeal is and get us updated on that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's pretty much what I had sent in. Well, I think I brought this in, but when you look at the assessment compared to the comparables that were provided to me by the assessor's office, right off the bat, ours went up compared to, I pulled off 5 comparables that closely compare, as closely I could compare to our property.
Yep.
And I don't understand how ours went up and all the others went down, yet our property has so much less than the other properties have. So as you can see at the bottom of the little spreadsheet that I typed out, I put 2 averages on there to come to what I thought was an appropriate price per square foot, and where I thought we really should be based on what I saw everybody else was at. So I honestly think a mistake was made. So that's kind of what I have to go on. Yeah.
So we took a look at the sales that you used, and I suppose you selected them because they were similar in size.
I did. Yep.
Majority of them are inferior to your property in age and location. I mean, you got Route 66, which in a house built in 1900. Your house was on Lake Road and built in 1992, a lot younger than that house on Route 66. So majority of the houses that you used, actually all of them you used, are older in age, and some aren't as well located as yours. You're near the lake, so properties around the lake get a premium in the market because people want to be near the lake, and as a result, the taxes are generally higher around the lake. The other thing I noticed is you purchased the property in September of 21 for $276,500.
We did.
And
Yep.
you're claiming that you think the value is worth $245,000.
Well, not the value, but the assessment.
No, it's
Not-
based on the value. That the assessor bases your assessment on the value of the
Basis on
property.
the, okay. All right, well, okay, I'm just a little confused because I thought the assessment was high. 285 is the assessment. I didn't think that was a sales price assessment or what the property could sell for. Maybe I'm just not making myself clear.
I think that might be a, yeah, 'cause I think you're valued at 284, which is comparable to the price you paid of 276. last
Okay.
year.
Well, I mean, I know it shouldn't be used for an appeal, but when we purchased this, and again, I know it shouldn't be used in an appeal, but you know the real estate market. We had to find a place to purchase. We were renting and had to purchase, so we could afford to retire. So we overbid because we had a little cash that we could put on. We overbid on the sales price.
Yeah.
We had our fingers crossed that we would even appraise.
Mhm.
So we appraised for well under the assessment, but enough to purchase, enough to put 20% down and be able to get a mortgage. So and again, I know that doesn't really count with an assessment.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
the situation is that I think during that time, there were a lot of people paying over list price because the inventory was so low that in order to get a house, you had to make your offer attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that increased the
So-
value on all houses. So,
Okay, but why were these used as comparables then, if they weren't? I don't understand why all these properties were used as comparables.
I don't know where those, I thought you selected these properties.
I did not. They were provided by the assessment office, the assessor's office. I asked for a copy of the comparables, and I was provided with a list of 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, they're part of the attachment.
But do you agree that these
Okay.
comparables are inferior to your property?
No, I don't think they're inferior at all. If you see where I have listed the features, they're
Yeah,
a
you've
lot
got
nicer than our prop.
So all the houses that you've used for comparison are older homes.
Right, but they sold for more, they have more property, they have more rooms. They just have everything, they have so much more than ours.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure anybody, did you take a really good look at this?
oh yeah, absolutely. I researched all of these sales, their assessments, where they're located. And
Mm-hmm.
I found more similar sales based on the size of your house, the age of your house, and the location of your house. And these sales indicate a range of $200 to $230 per square foot. Now you have yours at $175 a square foot.
Right, because they were the comparables that were provided to me. So I would think that when I averaged them, that we should fall into the same amount because they were the comparables.
Are you talking about the 5 comparables that are listed on your sheet?
Right, I pulled them off of the list that your assessor's office gave me.
She gave you a list and you pulled the 5 off the list.
I pulled 5 that were as close as I could come to ours.
But you didn't pull any that were similar in age.
Where would I have found that? I don't even know where I would have found that.
On the town hall property cards on the online.
Okay, no, I was just looking for features and age,
Yeah.
I didn't take into consideration age because if they're well maintained, they're well maintained.
But it's kind of a different market for a 1992 house as for a 1900 house or a
Okay.
1947 house. I mean,
All
people are
right.
willing to pay more for a newer house, I believe.
Okay, I see
Yeah.
where I am now.
I
All
think
right, I
you-
got it.
I think your value is the 284.2 and you thought it was your assessment. But that's the value, so your assessment would be 70% of that.
Well, I don't understand why the assessment, the list that the assessor's office gave me had a list of the assessment. So you're saying that's what they think my house could sell for? I didn't think that's how this worked.
Yeah, so that they give you a value and then the assessment is 70% of the value.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So Do you have any more information you'd like to?
I don't. No, I don't. I
We
don't.
will deliberate at a later date and let you know what the answer is. Okay?
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else have any
Okay.
questions? Okay,
All right, I'm good.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. I guess we can move on to number 2. This is a real estate appeal of John Kincaid. Mr. Kincaid?
Yes, yes.
How you
Hi,
doing?
Hi, Mr. Kincaid. This is Linda. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm going to read you the oath.
Yeah, I should be
Okay.
on.
Yep, I can hear you just fine. You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
We're all set.
All right. Hi, Mr. Kincaid. Would you like to give us a brief explanation of what your appeal is?
Well, the whole thing is based on the carport being attached. And, I notified Gary from Quality Valuation, and he was supposed to correct that error, but apparently it didn't get done.
Okay,
The carport is actually separate from the house by about 2 inches. And I turned in a little drawing there, and if you look at that, you can see it's just flashed to keep the rain out. That's all.
Yep.
It is not attached, and the structural engineer that designed it originally recommended that I do not attach it unless I was going to build on top of it. And we never did that, so I never attached it.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, we did get a chance. Did anybody else? I saw the photo. Did anybody else see the photo of the carport?
I give it to the assessor's office, and I don't know if anybody else has seen it up there.
Okay,
You know,
I-
I also closed a copy of the 2016 showing the photograph, and on that, the building area summary, the first thing in is a carport, given its square footage, and then it goes to the floors and then the under garage and deck.
okay,
And that was back in 2016. But I had the same problem back probably 10 years ago. They thought it was attached. What it is they look at it and they think it is. The only way to tell it isn't is to go up on top and you can see the flashing, which I'd be willing to do if somebody wants to come down.
yeah. No, I mean, I did see a picture of the detached carport. So I believe you were correct in what you're claiming. So, and I'm not sure why he didn't adjust it for you when they did the revaluation, but
There was short time. Yep, excuse me. It was very short time there. I know that because I was on vacation when the first paperwork came out on this, and therefore I couldn't respond normally. So I went to the assessor's office, but apparently it was too late.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. So what we can do is take the appeal into consideration. We are aware of the fact that your carport is detached, not attached, which should result in some a decrease in your assessment. So let us take a look at that, and we'll deliberate at a later date and notify you of the outcome.
Sounds very good.
All right.
Will that be about a month?
Anybody else have any questions? Tom?
Will that be about a month in a return on that?
No, the board by state statute has to have all its work completed by the end of March.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So everybody, all the appellants will be notified before the end of March.
That sounds good. I'm all set.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
I'll log off.
All right, thank you. All right, so next Um, This is Paul and Diane Wisnowski. Are you folks here?
I'm here. Paul.
Okay.
I'm
good.
Mr. Wisnowski. This is Linda again. I'm going to administer the oath to you.
Okay.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm as the case may be. The evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you on penalty of perjury.
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Hello, Mr. Wisnowski. How you doing?
Pretty good. Good evening.
Good. Yeah. Good evening to you. So we do have your appeal in front of us, but if you wouldn't mind just summarizing what the essence of the appeal is.
Sure. There's a lot of, it's a little convoluted what went on. It involves what's happened with meetings with equality and then some history of what happened here. We're requesting a review of the revaluation of our property due to our belief that the results were compromised, that they were based on incorrect information regarding our property's appraised value that was provided to equality by the town. When I first received the paperwork with the new figures for 2021, I noticed immediately that there's a major issue with the appraised value, not the assessed value, but the appraised value. It stated that our appraised value was $1,297,500, while the correct appraised value is $1,167,000, a difference of $130,500. So I immediately scheduled the informal hearing with equality, and on 12/14 of 21, I spoke with Jake Chembranch. I guess he's was a project supervisor for this revaluation. And I explained to him, I asked him to explain the revaluation process. And he says they don't really start from scratch. They do not redo work that other people have done. So they look at the various factors to determine changes in the value of the land and the dwelling for each property since the last reval in 2016. And then add that value increase to basically the 2016 figures. And he stated, based on their review of our property, we increased in appraised value by $73,900 for approximately 5.75%. Well, I did point out the discrepancy to him regarding the appraised value being wrong, which results actually in an increase of $204,000 or approximately 17.5%. He immediately, before I even finished my sentence, said, "Can't be right." He says that's the property is not up, did not go up by $204,000. It was too great an increase and not warranted. And he said he restated he believed that the 73.9 figure was the correct increase in appraised value for a property, but that he only advises the town and the town makes the final decision. He stated that he would discuss the issue with the town assessor, and I have since spoken with her regarding this, and she states that he did not bring it to her attention. I would find it very surprising that he would not, that he would ignore discussing such a significant error. Now, I have to explain to you a little history how these improper figures may have come about. This is a motion for judgment that I have here from the written Superior Court dated December 29th, 2017. We had challenged the last, the 2016 reval, and it ended up that we had our, appraised value dropped from the 12975 to the 1167. So that's obviously where that number came from. So we're concerned, my attorney are concerned, the fact that this is a legal document that obligates the town to change the pertinent town records and specifically the property card. So approximately 2 weeks ago, one of our appraisers that's looking at our property went in and got the 2016 property card from the assessor's office. And it still shows the 12975 number from before the court case. So that has not been changed. But that really puzzled me because when I first pointed out the appraisal error to Jay, he was of course not going to accept my figures without some proof. So first I asked him to do the math, take 70% of the 1,000 1,297,500, and look what the assessed value would be. And of course, the numbers didn't match up. So he started looking through all the paperwork that was provided, I should say paper, the data that was provided by the town to Equality. And he says, found it. He says, his records show that 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 data all showed the proper appraisal value of $1,167,000. Only the 2020 data had the increased appraisal value of $1,297,500. And the strange thing is his data for 2016 showed the proper appraisal value of 1.167. But the paperwork that's currently being distributed from the assessor's office has the wrong value on that. So to add to these errors, it was very nice of the town and of Equality to have my property go from 1.7 acres to 276.7 acres on the sheet they sent out to me. Now, no one in the town and no one from Equality even noticed that error. So that when you put the errors together, it really makes you start wondering, and it comes together to produce a serious doubts as to the over accuracy and validity of the process, at least regarding our property. So we are not asking for a particular dollar amount for you people to decide on. We're just requesting that the board look at this situation, find out what the story is, and ask again Jay, who was the project supervisor, why he feels that the 73.9 is the proper amount to increase our property by, and that would be 73.9 on top of the 1,167,000, because really a 17.5%. It's not really percent, because as you know, less expensive houses that are in the sweet spot of sales, affordability of more people, will probably see a greater percentage increase, but a lower dollar amount, because those are the houses that are moving fast and have seen the big draw. $204,000 is, I think, quite a big jump in that, since that. Plus, we've talked to a lot of appraisers, and even Jay and I discussed this for a while, that we're in an area such as Columbia. It's a nice area, great, that's why we love it here and all, but we're really starting to run up against the price ceiling. And he said it is a problem, and it does create some issues in coming to the fair values and all. But he said, again, that's all that's the final decision is based on the town, people as yourself. And so we're just asking you if you could look at this, talk with Jay about this, talk with the town assessor, and see whether this these errors have determined any impact on the final figures that we're deciding on for our property.
So you're saying the largest of the errors was that the fellow who did the revaluation told you that the information he gave you was wrong?
Well, he feels that with the information I gave him, that he had the incorrect appraisal value for our property, that the $204,000 that actually results from that incorrect, using the incorrect, the difference between the incorrect and the correct figure is 100, is actually, like I said, it's going to be almost twice more than the increase that he's suggesting our property should go up. He asked me if I had a problem with 73.9. I said, well, not at all. I said, I expect my property to be going up. I didn't expect to see $5,000 or $10,000 on the property. Not at all. I mean, because it's,
do you mean to go up between 2016 and 2021?
Yes, 2016 and today and 21. I expected an increase. Actually, talking with some of the appraisers before all this, we kind of estimated that the 73.9 is pretty close to what we thought it would end up going up. By talking with, I just happen to have a lot of friends that are in real estate and or are appraisers, and they're in major real estate companies. They're owners of statewide real estate companies that you would all know the names of, and they're always over here and all. And when we were discussing it, and the stuff that I looked at, I figured it would be I thought the top would be about $80,000, around that range. And in my talks with Jay, he thought that that was pretty reasonable, but he did say that he thought that the $204,000 increase was a bit much. He says that
That's like
he
the-
didn't really think that that would be it that way.
What is it, like
I'm-
18%
17.5%. Yeah, a little more than 17.5%.
over 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And it's, well, and we discussed the fact that you're going to see, I think most of the appraisers have said to me and the realtors said to me, you're going to see the biggest changes in the affordable properties that are affordable for the sweet spots, say, you know, 3 to 5 or something of that nature. That's where you're going to see the big move. This kind of property, we should say the core group that would be interested in that would probably not be local. And the final determination of what you're going to receive is just how good your sales are, you know, how
Yeah.
your sale procedure is, how many audiences that you're able to capture and present that information to. So it's that there would be a lower percent. And most of them said to me to expect at least 5, 6, you know, in that range. So, but I'm repeating that we are not asking for a particular figure. The figure that's on the sheet that I gave you is just, I just put it down there because you have to put something down.
you feel it's worth $1 million?
On the application.
225?
Yeah,
You feel-
and so really what I wanted to just see if we can get you guys to talk with the people and see whether this huge difference in the pricing that in the information that was on what was given to equality impacted our final figure.
Okay, yeah, that's reasonable. We can check with equality and, check to see, what type of sales they're using to come up with their value, because, they do the same thing for all types of properties.
Yep.
And, so we'll take a look at that. I'm looking at your property card right now. It says you have 1.7 acres, so I think they corrected that part.
Well, this is what was sent to me.
Yeah.
And it's got 276.7.
That's a
This
lot.
is the last thing that was sent to me. So all I'm stating is that when you see errors such as that, you tend to start wondering what might be going on. But the biggest thing is, I'd also, if it's, I don't know if it's within your purview or not, but I'd really like to know why the numbers haven't been changed on the property cards. That should have been changed. This 2016 card, they should have gone back and changed. And then I don't know why Jay's 2016 information has the proper number. So
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to take a look at the 2016 card and the current card to see what you mean, but
Yeah.
Usually you just bring the information forward.
okay, and if there's anything I have here that I've presented tonight that you'd like to see, I'd be more than happy to put a package together and leave it at the town hall. So
Yeah, if there's anything else you would like to provide,
well,
you
it's
can-
just the information that I have showed you that I've referred to tonight.
Okay.
And who should I put that to the attention to?
you can-
Just the
Mary-
Board of Appeals?
Linda, can we give it to Mary at the assessor's office?
Yeah, if it's not available via email, then the best bet would be to physically bring it to the
Yeah,
assessor.
I'll do that. I'll do that so that
And-
you can see the issue, because it's having $130,500 difference between the listed appraisal and the correct appraisal is quite a bit. And it makes a significant difference in how much our property value and our, is going to be. And I really would hope that we will look at it, have a good look at it. So
Yeah.
we have appraisals going on, but they will not be done within time for your decisions, but they're being prepared in case we have to go to the next step. So
Yeah.
so
What do you feel your house is worth?
it's really hard to say, because there's in a custom home such as ours, there's such a huge difference between an appraisal for taxes and an appraisal for market. The easiest I always say is, you know, you can charge set amounts for things, say a jacuzzi tub. I think your level is $500 for a jacuzzi tub when you do an appraisal for taxes. But that could be a $500 tub, or it could be a $20,000 tub. And the value that's in there doesn't get released until the house is sold.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can have, my house, you could put $20,000 worth of lighting in, or you could put $120,000 lighting in. And again, a buyer comes along and sees that value and is willing to pay that difference. And that's when, and I wish I had kept the article back in 2016. I had gotten an article off the internet from some national assessors board or association. And the article was very interesting, that it said that like 97% of custom homes, their first initial sale, after the primer owners, is generally in the range of a 20 to 25% increase over their current assessment, appraisal, excuse me. So it's like even Mary says, she says she would be very happy when we sell our house, because then she'll be able to get all that hidden value out. So, in the tax basis. So,
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much what we do sell, who knows what it'll be at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I
it's,
think that's kind of what it comes down to, though. It's like the assessor has to figure out what the value of the property is.
Yeah.
So.
but market
that's how they
value
come up with the
is
assessment.
totally different than appraisal for taxes.
It should be the same. Appraisal is an appraisal.
No, because you can't charge $20,000 for a $20,000 jacuzzi. You can only put the $500.
That's true. But if you,
Yeah. And
it's
so,
about match pairs and comparable sales. So if you collected waterfront sales in the area, say Lake
Mhm.
Coquitapog, Columbia Lake, all the better lakes in the area,
Yeah.
come up with a dollar figure per square foot. That should give you an idea what your house is worth.
yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, you bring in a company to do the revaluation, they come up with a value.
Yep.
And because it's being added to the incorrect appraisal amount, it's creating a huge increase that even Jay from Equality said is not, warranted.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right, very good. We've heard you, and we'll take a look at what the reval company did and what the numbers look like, and we will let you know at a later
Okay.
date when we group again.
Great. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Before you
Good
sign
evening as
off,
well.
before you sign off, Mr. Wisniewski,
Yes.
Can you get whatever other documentation you feel is relevant to the assessor as soon as possible?
Okay. Yeah. This is basically, I will give what I've presented to you guys tonight. And like I said, I will not have the appraisals till down the road, but those appraisals will, like I said, we'll use it if we need it. For the
I
next
just need
step.
time. I just need time to forward it to the members before they schedule their meeting for decisions.
I understand. Yeah, I'll get out to you guys right away. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
All right, next, Mr. Dixon.
Hello, Mr. Dixon. This is.
Hi, hi.
and
Can you
I
hear
have
me
the oath-
okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Great.
I have the oath for you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the answers you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Dixon, if you wouldn't mind just summarizing your appeal so that we can get an idea what you're talking about.
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity. When I filed the request for the appeal, I did not have the appraisal that I had commissioned, and I did send that to both Mary LaValle and to your secretary, and hopefully you've received that appraisal and have had a chance to look at it.
Yes, we have.
Okay. This, there are two issues. One is the value of the improvements, and then the second is the value of the land. And I'll start with the first. We had to challenge our appraisal or assessment back in 2011. Eventually, the judge forced the town to go out and get its own appraisal rather than the mass appraisal done by, I think it was Vision Appraisal at that time. And the appraisal came in very different, and we were able to settle it. And part of it was part of the settlement was the value of the improvements. And the improvements basically were dropped to zero. That was carried forward to the revaluation in 2016, which did not change. And when I looked at the property card prior to my discussion with Equality, the property card had the value at zero. And then all of a sudden, after my discussion with them, well, he told me that, oh no, we placed a value on the improvements. And when it came through, yes, they had in fact done that. So that's one issue, that all of a sudden with a new mass appraiser, up comes the value of the improvements. And this is a very unique property. It's the camp that's right next to the Astawama, and literally the shack was built in the property was bought in 1910. The structure was built in 1911, and basically there have been no improvements. And you know, it sits on rock kind of things to hold up the beams and all that kind of stuff. So with a mass appraisal, there's no appreciation of the nature of the improvements on the property. The second issue is that the lot is currently, it's a very strange piece of land, and it's totally non-conforming currently to both zoning requirements and including setbacks from the lake, setbacks for the septic system and all of that. So that if you basically, if we were to sell the property and someone were to come in, they would currently, given all of the zoning and setbacks, would not be able to put a big house on. They'd have to build a house on our current footprint. So I know I've talked to Mary extensively. We go through this every 5 years. We get taxed to a large extent on this formula regarding the number of feet on the lakefront, which I think is incorrect, because there's a decreasing scale in terms of the value, because of the fact that any house that would be built on the property would have to be confined to the current footprint. The other is that we cannot subdivide the property because that's not allowed by zoning anymore. So we're kind of stuck with a bigger piece of property that can't be used for its best and last use, in the sense that we can't divide it and sell it for a great deal of money so that people can come in and buy a couple of other structures. The third issue is, again, it gets back to a mass appraisal versus an individual appraisal, which is, as everybody who lives in Columbia knows, comparable properties are hard to come by, particularly for the old camps that are there. And the person who did our appraisal, who by the way has family who lives on Columbia Lake, came up with 3 comps. And look, I'm on a board of assessment appeals for the town of West Hartford, so I know the deal with comparables. There are comparables and there are comparables. But this guy, you know, came up with 3 that he thought were reasonable. He made the appropriate adjustments given the differences between the properties, the structures, and how new they were. And he then used these comparables and came up with a value that's considerably lower. Well, I think it's actually now about $100,000 less than what the town has put on. And if we look at the increase from 2016, it's about a 16% increase. So I would go with what our appraiser says for the value, which is I think 457. And it's basically just land, because the structure it's going to be torn down when we sell it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
This is, by the way, a one-season cottage, and they're actually, since 2011, I should say, and since 1910, no improvements made on the property. Actually, yeah, there are no improvements.
Is it structurally sound?
No.
It's,
When I took the appraiser in, and you can see the pictures that he submitted, he kind of shook his head and said he was astounded that we spend any time in the property during the summer.
Yeah, does it have a roof? Is it water?
It has
watertight?
a roof, yeah.
Okay,
And it does not have the other point he makes, and I don't know, Mary seemed to not think this was important, which I probably shouldn't tell you, but you'll talk to her anyway, that it has a completely undeveloped waterfront. We've got boulders and stuff like that. It hasn't got a beach. It hasn't got, docks or anything like that. It has a little stone walled in area that has crumbled, basically.
yeah, no, it's got a ton of water frontage.
Yeah.
I guess that's
And
probably
she-
where, that's why it's being taxed so high for the land, because of the water frontage.
Yeah, but that again is my argument, and I always have a hard time philosophically because you're saying, well, the value increases, but in fact, as the property is much bigger than the usual parcel, it's not utilizable as a property that big because it can't be subdivided, and a new house that someone is gonna put up when the property comes up for sale is basically going to be limited to the current footprint, which is very small. And the town basically is saying, well, $560,000 is what someone would pay for the property. And I would argue that's not very reasonable because of the size of the house. Why are they going to come and spend that kind of money to put up a very tiny house, square footage wise?
Yeah, I mean, we've researched some of the sales on the lake too, of properties that were purchased and raised later. Homes that were purchased for $450,000, $500,000, and they actually took the house down and rebuilt on a 600
Well,
square foot.
you'd have to do that. You'd
On
have
a
to do that
600
here.
square foot print, the footprint was a lot smaller than yours. So people are doing that with smaller foundations, paying similar dollar amounts. So I mean, I know, I guess my only
Has any
problem-
property sold for $570,000
No, but there's
on the
some.
lake? Just for the land to tear down? I don't
450.
think so.
There's a half acre that sold for $450, and they took the house down.
Mhm.
And you're an acre and a half.
And what comparable property is that?
7 Newford Drive.
Newford Drive.
See, the other issue is your appraiser, he didn't give any value at all to the building. And I think you folks use it. I mean, I go on the lake occasionally and it looks like the property is being used. So it does
Yes,
have some utility.
Well, as I started out by saying, the town had a zero value on the improvements until Equality took over and then bumped it back up.
Yeah, and at 40,000 is what they put for a value on the improvements. As far as I can
Roughly that, yeah.
tell. Yeah. Okay, and all right,
That's
so
all,
we-
that's our appraisal is what we have. And the other is we have a right of way on the property to the camp and to another house, which also cuts off some are utilizable. I don't know if that shows on your map there. I think it should. Woodland Terrace comes around and goes into Camp Astawama.
Yeah. Yep, no, yeah, we saw that on the map also, so. All right, anybody have any questions? All right, so, do you have anything further to provide?
Nope,
the,
that's
board?
it. Thanks
Okay.
for hearing my case.
Yeah, you bet. We'll take a look at it and let you know.
Please do.
Very good. Thank you, sir. All right, that was Mr. Dixon. And The next case is Mr. Robinson, 159 Pine Street.
I'm here.
Hello,
Hi, Mr. Robinson.
I'm here.
I have the oath to give you.
Yep.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
Hello, Mr. Robinson.
How you doing?
Good, good. If you would, please just brief us on what the essence of the appeal is.
Okay, first I'd like to point out, do you have the list of properties that I sent in with my appeal?
Yeah.
There's a mistake. There's a mistake on my, the percentage that mine went up again this year. It's got listed on there that it went up 27.5%. Actually went up 39%. That's a mistake,
Okay,
first of all. Now, the house was originally built in 1971. There was renovations done to the house in 2007. The house burnt down 2019. It was rebuilt on the same foundation, and a two-car garage was added. The property was assessed by the town in December of 2020. And it was assessed at, or it was appraised at, I can tell you what the assessment was. So the assessment was, the new assessment was 193,700, which would give you an appraisal of 215,428. Now, before the fire, the house was assessed at 140 or 150,800. It was assessed at before the fire. Now, the increase that I got when it was assessed, when the house was rebuilt, again, on the same foundation. So it's not a new property because the law says it can't be built on the same foundation. It can't be classed as new. But that was an increase from what was there originally to what I had built, was an increase of $61,286 or 28.4%, which I understood, yes, has been rebuilt, has been updated to the codes of today, etc., etc. So no, I didn't have a problem with that. As a result of that, my taxes jumped from $4,422.96 to $5,681.22. I don't have a problem with that. But now with the reassessment that was done, now they're telling me that the new appraisal says that my house jumped from December when it was appraised to when it was done in February or whenever it was, January, whenever it was, that it jumped from 276.14 to 385.4. That's an increase of 39.28%. That just sounds absolute. I mean, and over the last couple of days, I've actually went through all the ranches and raised ranches on Pine Street. And I've heard you talking previously about the years that the houses have been built. So I took all the ranches on Pine Street, including my own, or excluding my own, sorry, and the average increase, an average for an increase in Pine Street for ranches has been 17.34%. Has been the average increase in assessments. I mean, appraisals. Like I said, mine has jumped 39.28% when it had already jumped 28.4% just last year. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it makes any sense. You tell me.
Yeah, so I want to think that the assessment didn't change until 2021 because we had to base all of our values on 2016 values. And at the time in 2016, values were a lot lower.
Well,
So,
then in 20, oh, well, excuse me, let me interrupt you. But you're saying it would be based on 2016 values. Well, based on 2016 values, according to the town, the house was worth 215,428.
it was a new house at that time?
No, but I'm saying, you're saying it based on 2016 values. Well, in 2016, the town said the house was worth 215,428.
But wasn't it rebuilt after that?
It was rebuilt on an existing foundation, which means it's a remodel. It's not rebuilt. You know what the law is as well as I do.
Was the only thing existing was the foundation, everything else is new?
There's a new garage, which included the footings and the floor in the garage. The patio, concrete patio at the back of the existing. The stairs and the little porch in front of the house was existing. The framing and everything else that was built on top of it was new in 2020. But like I said, you turned around and said and increased the value by 61,286. When you looked at it then, and you're saying based on 2016 values. Okay, so you've increased it 61,286, which encompasses the rebuilding of the property, the structure on that.
When was it
To be
rebuilt?
new, but then now you turn around and say 3 months later that you're increasing another 108,000.
But wasn't it rebuilt in 2020?
It was rebuilt on the existing foundation in 2020. Yes.
Okay, so the numbers that you're referring to from the old appraisal are from 2016 numbers with the old house.
Correct. Correct. Well, you're telling me that the valuation of it is based on 2016 numbers.
Well, back when you see the old appraisal number, that was a 2016 number.
Right, but you're just sitting there telling me that that appraisal that I got in December, when I moved back into the rebuilt house, was based on 2016 numbers. I mean, basically, the town's trying to tell me that from a house that's the same size with the addition of a 24 by 24 garage has jumped. Where have I got it now? It's actually, you're telling me that it jumped $169,972 or 79, almost 79% value from 2016 to today.
For the new, well, that includes the new construction, correct?
Yes, but I'm saying if you're saying, if you want to look at, I said, I didn't have a problem with the increase of 61,286.
Yeah.
Which was based upon, it was new construction, and you're telling me that's based on new construction using figures from 2016. Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it makes absolutely no sense to me and seems totally ludicrous that you would increase it again a further $108,686.
I'm not really concerned, nor should the assessor be concerned with the increase. It should be based on the value of the property as of October 1st, 2021.
Then let me ask you this question then.
Yep.
You're talking about comparisons and all the rest of it. Okay, like I said, the whole of Pine Street, every ranch on Pine Street, the average increase has been 17.34%. Why is mine 39.28%?
I don't think that's the correct number. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that you're using the information from when the house was, before the house was destroyed.
No, excuse me, I'm not. that 108,686 that I'm talking about of an increase is the increase between what you appraised at in December after it was rebuilt.
Yep.
You've increased it, but after it had been rebuilt, you appraised it, and the appraisal jumped from what it was before it burnt down. It jumped 61,286.
What do you
The
think it's worth
increase now,
today?
pardon?
What do you think it's worth now?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea, but what I'm telling you is it makes no sense whatsoever to turn around and tell me that a house jumped 39.28%.
I can tell you this, that we don't pay attention to percent increases. We pay attention to the value as of October 1st, 2021. So
Okay,
if
then.
your house was worth less at that point, then there's room to make an adjustment.
Well, like I said, then you telling me that my house jumped $108,686 between what you appraised it at in October or November
You know, we
to
can do,
what you
we're gonna
appraised
look
at.
we're gonna look at how the assessor came up with that information and if the value as of October 1st, 2021 is deemed to be lower, then we will make an adjustment.
Well, the
Regardless of
appraisal-
the increase,
and-
the increases mean nothing. It's the value as of October 2021 is the important date.
Okay, so you said the appraisal on October 2021, you're saying it was appraised at 276,714.
No, I think the assessor indicated that as of October 1st, 2021, the value is 385.4.
Oh, excuse me, yes, that's a new evaluation. The one that they did, the town came out and assessed it in December of 2020 when I moved back in. And they
Yeah, those
assessed
numbers-
it at,
Those numbers don't mean anything in revaluation. October 1st, 2021 is the only important date. That's the date the assessor uses to
wait a
value the
minute, how
property,
can you say it doesn't make any difference?
because that's not the date. The year before,
Well, then why is your appraiser saying that my house jumped in value 39% when people round about me only jumped 20%, 25%, 18%, 6%, 16%? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, surely an evaluation of a property is based upon, like you said, you talk about comps. Comps are based upon what houses sell for. Not I mean, yes, there's obviously going to be a huge difference between what a house that was built in 1920 sells for versus a house that was built in 1970.
yeah. So
Obviously.
just an example, is it reasonable to assume that a 1945 ranch on Pine Street burned down and it was rebuilt, it would be worth more?
Yes.
Okay, so none of these houses that you've selected were burned down and rebuilt. That's why they're all different than yours.
Let me give you this example then, if you want to go that route, okay? 191 Pine Street is a colonial that was built in 1963 and extensively remodeled last year. And I know who the builder was, the same builder that built my house. She's his sister, actually. Now that house upstairs, that house has 2,390 square feet. My house has 1,548 square feet upstairs. Their house is appraised at 401,100. My house is appraised at 385.4. It's a bigger house. I have more property, but my property is useless. My property is all wetland out back. You couldn't do anything out back in my house if you wanted to.
Yeah. You know what, we're gonna take a look at all the information and see if maybe at that time, the property values should have not been so high. So if you like, you can submit any more information right now and we will take it into
Well, like I said, I
consideration.
mean, my taxes already jumped 28.44% last year because I rebuilt it. Now,
Yeah.
and I know that what your appraisal is and what your assessment is has no bearing on what your taxes are because it goes on the mill rate. And I understand that. But the thing that concerns me is looking at the percentage of increases for everyone else on the street versus mine. I mean, I'm more than twice the increase of the average house on the street. And if that's the case, then my taxes are going to get whacked again.
Yeah, so, well, I can tell you this, we're gonna disregard those increases altogether and try to come up with what we think is a reasonable value for your property as of October 1st, 2021.
And never mind what was there before or what you appraised it at
We're not gonna
before.
pay attention to increases, we're gonna pay attention to what the property was worth as of October 1st, 2021.
I think we might be seeing each other in court.
Well, I'm not that down on this situation, but
Oh,
suppose we
the reason I say that is because when I spoke with your evaluators when I first appealed it to them and explained the situation to them, they agreed with me that it didn't seem that that was reasonable. And they said that they would talk with their supervisor and they would get back to me. Then the letter I got back from the town was that you talked to the appraisers, you disagreed with the appraisers, and that's what the evaluation was staying at.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll take a good look at it because that's what we do here. We listen to your
Thank you.
case and we will take a look at all the information and we'll give you an answer.
Thank you.
Is
Have
there
a good
anything
evening.
else anything else you'd like
Nope.
to say or provide?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Robinson. Who is next? Mr. Allen, 65 Lake Road.
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Allen. It's Linda. How you doing?
Oh, very good, Linda. Good to hear you.
You too. I'm going to read you the oath. You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
You.
How you doing, Mr. Allen? Thank you
Okay.
for joining us this evening. Can you please summarize your situation?
Yes. Okay. I live at 65 Lake Road.
Yeah.
And our property is bounded by Homestead, the road Homestead, the recreation area, Lake Road, and Joshua Trust.
Yep.
We have approximately 38 acres. Okay. My first problem, and actually we have three different assessments. One is on the house, one is on the barn, and one is on the land. The one I'm more concerned with right now is the one on the house. If you look at the property records, page 3, it says that the siding is vinyl. I don't know if you have that information with you
Yep.
or not.
Yep, I've seen it.
Okay. However, there's only a small section above the garage that is vinyl, and the rest of the property is asbestos siding.
Okay,
All right. Asbestos siding, as you probably know, is pretty dangerous. And if we were to sell the house, it would have to be ripped off and maybe vinyl or a different type of siding installed. So my concern is that the property should be valued on removing, if somebody else buys it, removing the asbestos siding and installing new siding. Now, I talked to a person who is a contractor, and he gave me a quote on how much it would take to remove asbestos siding and install vinyl siding. And the estimate is approximately $8 per square foot to remove it. And I have probably about 2,500 square feet of siding on it, which is, if you multiply 2,500 times $8 per square foot, that comes to $20,000. And he gave me another estimate. And by the way, he is licensed. He's a licensed contractor. And he gave me another number of $17,800 for installation of vinyl siding. And I think that that should be included as a part of the assessment of the house. Because nobody's going to buy a house with asbestos siding. I can guarantee you that. Okay.
So let me ask you, is the asbestos siding intact, or is it falling down or crumbling?
No, it's in good shape. The asbestos siding is in good shape. We've been keeping it. We've been here for 50 years, and it's been on for 50 years. Okay.
50?
And yeah, 50 years.
Yeah,
We moved in 1972. And but you know that the value of the house is not going to be what it was assessed at. If you have to take whoever buys this house is going to have to remove the siding and put new siding on and put vinyl or whatever they want on it. So, you know, it should be a decrease in value, I would say. And my estimate is roughly $37,000 to $38,000. And that's what I'm asking, that the decrease in the appraised value of 184,100, which was given in 2021, should be. I have no problem with the barn. Okay, the barn I think is fair.
Okay.
And I do have some questions, however, on the land too. Okay. If you
Do you have the land, is the land in the farm program?
the land is under Public Act 490. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So your taxes are already minimized on
Yes.
the land?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I have a question. Maybe you can help me on that, because I'm not sure exactly if I'm correct or not, but I've got the Department of Agriculture Public Act 490 basics, okay? And if you look at that, it shows that the and this might be a little bit off because I don't have the latest information, okay? But it shows that it's $2,400 per acre, okay, that they allow for Public Act 490. However, this is for land type tillable A, I guess, is $2,400 per acre. And that's probably what you use, because that's the way the numbers come out that way roughly. However, there are three different types of land that they summarize in Public Act 490. One is tillable A, which is 2,400 an acre, which is statewide, okay? Land type tillable B is 1,600, and my land, which I think it is, okay, is land type tillable C, which is $400 per acre. Now, as far as our property, I think we have probably about 12 or 15 acres. I got the numbers here of hay land that we have. David Tuttle does the cutting for us now, okay? He cuts it and takes it off, and I just want to maintain that property so it looks halfway decent, and it's still tillable.
Okay.
And the second type of land that we have is forest and woodland, and that is rated at $130 per acre, okay?
Mhm.
Now, the definition of land type syllable C is very good to good, quite level, moderate heavier soils, level to rolling, and it may have stones, okay? They use it for corn silage, which one year we did have it in corn silage. We had cows here when we first moved to the property for 7 years. I had 40 cows here that we milked, okay?
Mhm.
And so the syllable C, which is what I think we should have had, is exactly what it says here. And then as far as woodland or forest, it says that forest land associated with the farm unit, non-farmable areas that also make up the farm unit. And we let our cows roam in the woods, and they had plenty of weeds and brush to eat. And then we put them in the barn after and fed them hay that we got from our fields and the grain. But maybe you could help me and see if that's what your definition of our property might be, rather than just taking the average of like $2,400 per acre.
And I honestly, I'm not sure how they do that. They must look at maps and then determine what area is open field tillable and what area is woodland. And
Right.
But I don't have that information handy, and I'm not
Okay.
sure where that comes from, to be honest with you.
It comes from the Department of Agriculture. It's online. You could get it
Maybe
online.
they're the ones that need to look at it again to update it. Are you saying that you have more good land or less good land?
No, I got less good, well, it's not the prime land, okay?
Yeah.
The prime land, which is what I'm being charged now, is $2,400 an acre, and a lot of that is woods too,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
okay?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'll bring it up to the assessor and see if we can look into that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
would
something-
appreciate it just to see if I'm right on my definitions here.
Yeah, no, it's a good thought, they
Okay.
have probably better tools today to determine the acreage than they used to have too, so
Okay, very good.
it's worth a look.
Okay, excellent.
All
I
right.
appreciate if you take a quick look at that. And also
Yep.
the house. The house was assessed at 128,000, which was a 5-year difference of 56,700, or a 44% increase, which is kind of high. And I thought that the asbestos siding should be looked at, because I think if you look at the information that was given and the last time it was appraised, it also said it was vinyl siding.
Yeah.
So it's been wrong for a long time.
I think sometimes those people who do the reval, they just swoop through quickly and
Yeah, that's true.
don't pay attention. But what we can do is take a peek at that and maybe even set up something where you take a drive-by and confirm that you have the asbestos siding and see if there's anything we can do about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you for
Okay.
coming tonight and presenting your case.
And thank you for listening.
You bet.
Yeah,
Bye-bye. Okay. Next, Tomlinson. Hi, folks. Linda?
Yes. The Tomlinsons are next.
Yep.
And I
Yes,
will-
we're here.
Yep, I'll read you the oath. You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
I do.
Hi, folks. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Mr. Hamilton?
Good. If you would summarize your case, that'd be great.
Okay. We had a couple of attachments I just want to draw attention to. The first was our amended reevaluation notice. The second was a kind of map in the area. The third was a photograph of the right of way, which we're actually going to be discussing. And the next set of attachments are just our property cards. When we received the amended letter, the amended revaluation notice from the assessor's office, we realized that our assessment went up 40%, which really caught our attention. And further looking at it, what we saw was the majority of the increase was in the land, which increased $25,380. I spoke with the assessor on it, and she indicated that it had recently come to the town's notice that we have a right-of-way to Columbia Lake. And that was the driver for the majority of our, for the entirety of our $25,380 increase in land assessment.
Yep.
Now that right of way is actually mostly a gravel driveway. It's about 200 feet long and 30 feet wide. And on the eastern edge of it, there's a small grassy rectangle that actually abuts the lake. That grassy area is like 16 feet on one side, 21 feet on the east side, which is the waterfront side, 21 feet in the south, and 31 feet on the west side. Again, as I mentioned, the 21 feet on the east side is the waterfront, and the 21 feet on the south side borders a fence blocking off the right-of-way from lot 41. If you look at attachment B, it kind of indicates that the right-of-way might actually extend into lot 41. You can see that little arrow there pointing to the right-of-way.
Mhm.
And the right-of-way really goes right to the edge of the dock that sticks out into the lake. And if you look at attachment C, you'll see a photo we took of the area, which makes it much clearer. So we're kind of blocked off from that. I don't know why the map indicates that. So what we've really got is a small right-of-way, for lake access. When we looked at other right-of-way on the lake, we saw a couple things. We saw that, we looked at the Sleepy Hollow right-of-way owned by Breezy Point over there.
Sure.
And our land assessment is higher than the land assessments over on 36 to 48 Sleepy Hollow Road, which all have larger lot sizes. And those assessments range from $77,000 for almost a full acre lot to $73,000 for a little over a third of an acre lot. And the lake access for Sleepy Hollow is approximately the same size. It's like 20 feet by 237 feet. It's got approximately the same size waterfront. It's 20 feet. And that's assessed at $11,830, which is what, $14,000 less than our increase.
Mhm.
And although the rights of way are very similar, Lakeview Drive and Sleepy Hollow, again, most of our right of way is a gravel driveway, and you can't really use it without blocking access to the two houses and the cottage that are down there. So really the usable portion of that right of way is, 16 by 21 by 21 and by 31. And the Sleepy Hollow right of way is really a lawn leading down to the waterfront. So that's much more usable. We looked at some of the assessed values of the small waterfront properties around Route 87, and they're all, ranging from 6,600 to 17,900, but all that land is in the 50 to 60 foot waterfront range. And the only exception is some town-owned property that's got a 20-foot waterfront at 6,600. We also looked at the Woodland Terrace lake access right-of-way, and that's substantially bigger than ours. It's about 95 feet by almost 50 feet. And that 50 feet is on the water. And that's assessed at $107,310. So due to the larger size of that Woodland Terrace lake access right-of-way, we didn't really compare any of the homes in the area, for land values that might have been, popped up due to lake access.
Mhm.
And there is a a minor error there in bullet point 6, where it says due to the large disparities between this and the Lakeview Drive, and it says and Sleepy Hollow. That should
Yep.
say Woodland Terrace, by the way. So I
Okay.
screwed up there.
That's all right. Yeah.
And then we looked at our old land assessment from the previous revaluation, 2016, and that was assessed at 52,600. And then we compared that to some of the houses on Heritage, and we were really surprised to find that our old assessment was $3,000 to $4,000 less than the reevaluation land assessment values for those homes on Heritage. There's one exception that's for almost a 3-acre lot that was valued at 54,000. And all the other lot sizes varied from, like 1.15 acres to, an acre and a half. And that's like 3.5 to almost 5 times larger than our lot, which is 0.32 acres.
Yep.
It also makes me wonder if our waterfront right of way has always been factored into our land assessment, considering that we're even higher back in 2016.
Yeah.
So based off what we looked at, we're requesting a reduction in our land assessment. We've got a small lot. We're in an older neighborhood. Most of the people are retired, small lots. Our land assessed values are higher than the Sleepy Hollow land assessed values. Historically, our land assessment's always been higher, especially when compared to the newer developments on Heritage Road. We look at the assessed values of the right-of-ways along Sleepy Hollow and along Route 87, and the greater usability of the Sleepy Hollow lake access right-of-way. It just looks like our land value is overstated. And I guess if you do have to provide an increase, we're thinking more that, $11,000 increase in the land assessed value would make more sense than, 25,000. So that would bring the total assessment up in the, 190 range. So do you have any questions?
So let me see, what's the value of your property is 292.9 according to the town hall, the assessor.
Correct. Yeah.
And you're claiming that you would like that reduced by 11,000?
I think that's more reasonable. I can't really argue the value of the house. I can argue the value of the land. So I'm thinking that, in total, we're somewhere in the, 260, 275 type range,
Yeah.
So,
Do you pay anything for use of that right away?
no,
Do you have to get permission from anybody to use it, or it's just deeded?
it's deeded in our property deed.
Can you park on that right away?
You can, but you can, but then you block access to the houses down there, and it always causes a problem.
Yeah.
So,
So you could do a quick park. You could drop somebody off and then scoot back if you wanted to, or but you're close enough so you could just walk, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, we walk down. I mean, we're about 100 feet from it, from the lake. But nobody really drives down.
Yeah, I was trying to get an idea if your right-of-way access is similar to the one on Sleepy Hollow. I mean, I know the one in Sleepy Hollow is like grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really drive down there. You can haul your kayak down, I guess, and drop it in the water.
Right.
Can't really park there, but you can't really park at yours either, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
What is it now?
All right. So, yeah, it's pretty good. It looks like you did a pretty thorough job with your analysis on the right-of-ways there. It's pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
We'll take a look at the information and let you know the result. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Tomlinson? Okay, I think we're all set for now. I appreciate you showing up
Okay.
and helping us out here.
Well, thanks a lot for
Thank
the
you.
time. We do have a contact phone number if there's any questions or if you have any information or, we can further provide.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, what we'll do is probably contact Linda. How do we contact? By mail usually?
As far as what? As far as the,
As far as the results of our findings.
Right, everyone will get a decision letter.
Okay,
And this is the only opportunity to present any documentation. This is the meeting to present the documentation.
Okay, I can't really think of anything else we could have provided, so I
Yeah.
think we're done. So,
okay.
okay, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Okay, very good. Moving on, Mr. Peterson. Are you there?
Yes,
Excellent. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing tonight? Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Hi,
Hold
Mr.
on.
Peterson, I will swear you in.
Sure.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming, and if you wouldn't mind, please summarizing your
This is the key.
appeal.
Sure. This should be fairly quick, my, explanation. So when I looked at my revaluation, I was unable to talk to people initially because I never got the actual card for when they did the reval. It probably got returned because the assessor office still has us at Route 66 South, which isn't recognized by the Postal Service anymore.
Yep.
So I think all of my, they tried to send me the details for here, the itinerary, and that got sent back. So so I was a little late in the game in doing this, but when I look at, we have a unique property here. There's only 3 parcels in the subdivision. Only 2 are developed, myself and my neighbor, and similar houses, similar acreage, similar everything, similar age. And, their assessment, and you had mentioned this earlier about, looking at market value per square foot. Their square footage is approximately 198 to 100 per square foot for the dwelling, and about 125 to 126 per square foot for the total property. Whereas mine came in at 135 per square foot just for the dwelling, and then 167 square foot for the entire property. So those just didn't seem to make sense to me. So as I evaluated well, let me take a step back. So that's the most comparable property, I think, in the town. I mean, it's literally next door and it's similar everything. And then, using as close as I could across the street, in Wickford Road, I used some of the houses there because they were built around the same time that we had moved in. And the properties there all are in the same vein, square foot, price per square foot as my neighbor. So I put those together and it feels like that my valuation somehow got increased significantly above what, comparable properties around me are being given for market value.
Okay.
So, and when I looked at it, I mean, really, I feel like it was somehow a 1 got put in one of the columns that wasn't supposed to be there, because when you take 100,000 off the total valuation, it turns out to be right in line with everything else. So I provided you with the property cards from the, the E value, or the place that we got, that did the revaluation. And so that's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for it to be relooked at, that the price per square foot just isn't in line with comparable properties.
Okay, yep, all right, so we have the information you provided. Does anybody have any questions? All right, so what we'll do is take a look at the information you provided and deliberate, and if you have a reasonable case, and we'll decide if there's room for adjustment. Then we'll let you
Okay,
know.
there's one other thing that I would just add, that I think they also, just the property, so the what needs to also be considered is that the acreage. So we have like 11.5. My neighbor has like 7.8, something like that.
Yeah.
But we went through a change of, it went through an adjustment back in, I think, like 2009 or something like that because of wetlands, and then also the whole driveway easement is on our property. It's on the property card. So essentially it's effectively 8 acres really is the way that it was being assessed. And the acreage, and I don't know if they took that into account when the new revaluation did, because the price really went, like the price for my property really went up somewhat significantly as well. So,
Yeah, and higher than what you claim your neighbors did.
correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll take a look at that information and
Yep.
let you know what we find.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you guys. Long night for you guys. Thank you.
That's all right. You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Take care.
Yep, you too. All right. Next would be Kerry Butler, Lakeview Drive.
Hello, Mr. Butler.
Hello.
Hello, I have the oath for you.
Okay.
You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr.
Good evening.
Butler. How you doing?
Well, pretty good.
Good, good. You want to just summarize your appeal?
Yeah, well, it's changed a little bit, but let me do the first part if I might. Is that for one of the things from the last appeal and that I did when it was last evaluation, and then this one I brought up on the south side of the house. I used to be able to, excuse me, used to be able to see not a lot of the lake, but used to be able to see a little bit of it. And they said, well, that's a water view. So they said, if anything changes, then maybe the next evaluation, you could bring it up. So after this evaluation, since then, there's been a large house, little cottages that were next to me were taken down in the trees. And there's a large 2.5-story house there now, which has eliminated the complete view of the lake, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just bringing that up. I thought the assessor said that she was going to try to get out and take a look at that, and I don't know whether she hasn't able to or not. But that, if you walk up to the front of the house, you look to the right, you can't see the lake, and from the kitchen or the living room window, the view is, any water is gone.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I'm bringing that up is because we were informed we had some realtors do some appraisals and stuff since then, and they alluded to us that, yeah, it's too bad you lost all the water view, because that can affect your value when you go to sell the property. So that's one of my things that I wanted to bring up. And I don't know how much, I have nothing to know how much they ever assessed water view or of the lake and stuff for that house. And so I have no idea what would, if it was a factor, what the amount might be to correct that.
So
part of the
let me just jump in for a second. I
Yep.
did read the notes on this, and I did check with the assessor.
Okay.
And we went back and looked at the records, and you never had a view adjustment on your assessment. So
No, that's right. I never did. That's what they
Okay.
told me. They told me back then, because they said you could still see some of the lake and everything, there would be no adjustment. And I said, okay. So since then, this large house went up, which has completely obliviated the lake. So that's why I'm bringing it up this time.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
But
And,
you weren't being charged for a view before is my point.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I know that.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay.
Because yeah. Oh, I got, now I'm catching up to you. Okay. Not that I know of anyways. Anyways, the other part was, as I stated in there, they're the right of way to the lake. Up until just recently, I've been working with Mary up at the town hall on this portion, and I know she's done a lot of research, and I've done a tremendous amount of research. And I just got back a I had a title search done on the property because the deeds go back to the 20s. And looking, because I've owned the place since 67, I think it is, or 68. And I have never had an inkling that there was a right of way in anything I've read, but I've never went that far back in the deeds.
Yeah.
That's going way back. So anyways, I had the title search done, and they have come up with a right of way down Lakeview Drive, which I was completely unaware of, and I just got the report. I have it right here. And I haven't had a chance to go up to Mary and show her this. I told her as soon as I got it, I would come up, but I didn't make it today. So I do have a right of way down Lakeview Drive. And it's approximately a 12-foot wide right of way down Lakeview Drive, which narrows down to a 2 or 3 foot right of way to the left. It's not a continually 12-foot right of way all the way down. It goes down into a walking right of way, so to speak. And there is no, that right of way, especially it's in the deeds. There's no parking on that right of way. That's
Is it the same right away
specifically-
that Mr. Tomlinson enjoys?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
The same one the Tomlinsons have, only mine, mine is, if you're going down the street, his home is on the right, my house is on the left, and the
Okay.
right of way that I have, according to the deeds, runs down in front on the left-hand side. If do you have that map? I think I put one in with the, with my papers, yeah, about 1, 2, 3, 4 pages down, you should have a map of the Lakeview
Yeah.
Drive and the lots.
Yes.
And so you can see where that dotted line where the right of way goes down, and then it narrows down to the walking path that goes down to the right of way to the lake, same where Mr. Tomlinson was talking about. Now, and also, if you folks happen to go down there to view it, there's a dock there. That dock does not belong to the right of way. It's a private dock, and it's not connected to the land, which is privately owned down there. It's not connected to the land by about an inch or inch and a half, and that goes back to a settlement back when the town had settled a case regarding the docks and that one too. There used to be there still is 3 docks over on DeRosa's property, which used to be Johnson and the cottages there. And they're still there. And this dock was a part of that settlement that when there was a disagreement going on between this dock and the Johnsons and the cottages, the town allowed them to have this dock at this length. But it belongs to Lafferty. It does not belong to the right of way, and it doesn't belong to the person that owns that whole piece of right of way, part of that lower part of Lakeview Drive. So I just wanted to make that aware of it, that it's not part of the right of way or anybody's right to use it or anything either.
Gotcha. Yeah, you just have access.
You have access to the water.
Yeah.
And the stairs that are on that dock that go into the water were built because the owner's wife is disabled, and it's also, as you'll see, from the wall down to the water, it's a jump down, and it'd be tough getting back up again without those stairs. So that's why they're there. But they're part of the dock. They don't belong to the right of way, so to speak. They're not mine or anybody else that has a right of way to that property. So I don't know how to end that portion, other than the fact that I do now know I have a right of way, which I never did. I never knew I had. So I guess that portion is taken care of. I just need to, I am questioning the increase of my amended assessment because of that right of way of close to, it went up another, my assessment went up another 15,000, almost $15,500 for that little, very small right of way. And with a telephone pole in the middle of it. So I just think that that's a little bit high for that little patch of grass down there.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's a little bit high for a patch of grass. Yes, it does give you to get to the water, but my right of way, like I said, starts at 12 feet wide, goes down to 3, 2 goes down to 2, according to the deeds, and there's no parking on that naturally, because the town road goes to the right by Mr. Tomlinson's house. It doesn't go all the way down to the water. See where it says drive on that map?
Yeah.
That's not part of Lakeview Drive. That is private property there. That is not part of Lakeview Drive. They call it Lakeview Drive because it comes down to those other houses. But
Right.
Lakeview Drive comes down off the highway. And then as you look at the map, it takes a right past Tomlinson's and goes over to Lakeview Park.
Okay,
So that is not, that's another person's private property.
sure. Okay,
So actually what I have a total of is, I said 15. No, that was the original. The original assessment was a increase of 15,470. And then once they, she sent me the amended revaluation for that because of the water. She already assumed that I had that right of way to the water, which was an increase of, $26,320 of to my assessment.
yeah,
So I think I just felt that's that's a little bit high for a very small patch of grass, and that's not, that's not much of it is a little right away to the water, but that's it. And I hope that you folks are able to go down and look at it so that you can see, because the pictures don't really show it well, especially mine, because we had the snow piles and stuff.
Yeah.
But I hope I think it's important because I don't feel that 18% roughly over the first assessment, October assessment that she sent is quite a bit for that little right of way there.
so you gave an estimate of what you think your property is worth at 242?
Yeah, oh, yes, that was done by yeah, we had it appraised by a couple of realtors. Yep.
Okay, because we have it at 246. We're roughly 4,000 higher than what your estimate is.
Yeah, but that's not, that was before, is that include the right of way?
Well,
I don't
does
think
your-
I meant
your
the,
Your estimate includes the right of way.
no. That 242 was before we knew about the right of way. I believe.
Well, I mean, if
242
that's the
is
case, then it's worth more with the right of way. I don't think. it's
Yes,
hundred.
I agree. It is worth more. I just don't think it's worth $26,000
Okay,
more.
is it worth 4,000?
Pardon me?
Is it worth 4,000?
Yes.
Anyway, that was our difference. We're $4,000 apart from our value and your value.
I see you. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you deal with these parts all the time. It takes me a little bit to catch up.
No, I know. And so, I mean, that's with $4,000 and a mill rate of 30, that's like, that might be $120 maybe. I don't know. Something like that. I can't do the math in my head.
That's but so you're looking at 240, what for the total value?
That's 100. Yeah, so the town has claimed that your property is worth 246.7. And you said it's worth 242.
Well, because see, I'm sorry, I got the amended assessment that says 172,690.
That is the assessment, but
The amended assessment.
that's the assessed value. The appraised value is 246.7. So you're correct that the assessment is 70% of the appraised value.
So
So yeah, we're $4,000 apart basically. So, but what we'll do is we can take into consideration what you've provided.
okay.
And let you know.
All
what
right,
the
I appreciate it. And I
Yeah.
hope you do get to view the right of way, because there's a lot of people It has a lot of people that have the right of way to that place. It's unbelievable how many. And I forgot what to see, the real estate right of way.
How many houses have right away? Do you know?
No, I don't. Tell you the truth. I think that's the lottery question. There's, back in those days, they were handing out that right of way to, in that whole subdivision and stuff, a lot of people had their deeded right of ways, but there's people that don't live even in that subdivision. They live off of Whitney Road and stuff that have right of ways. The right of way
okay.
situation is very confusing up in that area.
Okay. Gotcha.
Some
Yeah.
of those right of ways in the Whitney Road area is not down on our area, it's down the road a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's something it's always
Yeah.
been confusing.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming and providing the information, and we will let you know.
Yep, and I'll be going down to see Mary, and we'll be finishing comparing our notes, but I know for a fact that she and I both came up with the same volume in the same page in the end.
Yeah.
Which goes back to, that one goes back to 41, so.
Yeah.
But it does show it, and if you go back further, it does show the right of way. That's where I come up with the 12-foot going down to 2 feet. That's a Fanny Dixon Welch. That's how far back that goes, to the 20s.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, very good. Glad we cleared that up. We all got a right away over there. That's good.
yeah. Oh, yeah, very
Okay.
limited. Take a number.
Mike, can I talk to Mr. Butler for a moment?
Go ahead.
Mr. Butler,
Yes,
if you go to see the assessor and you bring her information and you want the board to see it,
Oh, yeah.
you need to let her know so she can get the information to me.
oh, absolutely. I told her when if and when I got something back, I would get a copy for her,
Okay.
and so that she would have it.
Okay.
And so I'll try to take care of that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
You betcha. Thank you.
All right. That was the last of our appeal hearings. Do we have somebody that also wanted to appeal the case who wasn't on the list?
I would recommend just sticking with what's on the agenda myself, but it's up to you. You're the chair.
Oh, is there somebody who's waiting?
Ms. Lacasse is still here.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We have to find out if she's just listening or was she prepared to present her appeal today.
Okay.
Hi, good evening. I was just here tonight to listen and I'm really not prepared
Okay,
to speak tonight, so I will be in next Tuesday.
very good.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank you.
coming by. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I guess that takes care of all the appeals. We should probably talk about a special meeting so that we can deliberate on what we heard tonight. Did we have a date that was going to work for everybody? Anybody?
The information that I've gotten from Tom and from Millie is that Tom probably would not be able to, the only two dates that Tom would be available would be the 16th or the 23rd.
I could actually do the 22nd also, if that helps.
16 is okay?
Actually, hold on a second.
Yeah.
My schedule changed a little bit. No, actually, that changed for me. So I could do, we have the meeting 15th. I could do the 22nd, really next one I have available.
Okay. Millie?
I will do my very best to make that work
Okay.
because
Yeah,
we're
I'll
doing
also-
Zoom.
I'll also do that. So the 22nd is the plan for now. That would be another 7 PM meeting. Linda?
Yeah, so does the board want to set that one meeting to decide on the appeals heard tonight and the appeals that you will hear next Tuesday on the 15th?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
That's unreasonable, guys?
Yep.
All right, so someone needs to make a motion to set that date so I can get it on the calendar.
I'll make a motion that we meet on March 22nd at 7 o'clock via Zoom to discuss the appeals and render a decision.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Okay. Very good. So that's the plan.
You have to vote.
Oh, we have to vote?
Yep.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think we got 3. Anybody else, any other business anybody wants to chat about? I don't think there's anything else on the agenda. All right, so thanks very much for showing up, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I have just one quick question, and maybe Linda can answer this. Several of the people went back and were talking about their 2016 assessment, 2016.
Right.
The paperwork that you sent us, which is extensive, I couldn't find 216 on the pieces that those people were talking about. The assessment evaluations down at the bottom
I
didn't
noticed
go
that, I noticed that myself.
No.
I can only give you what they gave me.
Oh, okay. Because I would go through looking for the 216 that people were talking about, and there wasn't any.
If you can email me the appeals that you need 2016 property cards on, I will get them from Mary and forward them to you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Excuse me, this is Bert Tomlinson. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I was told that, for instance, if you look at our property card on the very first page, the attachment, the values, it's attachment D1. The values on that page, the land value and the building value were their 2016 assessment values. And they do add up to, you know, what we had on our property card and what we had on our assessment letter.
Which one of your attachments are we looking at?
Page D1, attachment D1, I'm sorry.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you'll see it says property card values, land 52,600, and then
Yes.
building value. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are 2016 values. So that's where I took those from.
Okay, that's a good thing to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I guess if there's no other business, we can adjourn the meeting.
Thank you for getting it done, start to finish.
2 hours.
And it's before 10 o'clock.
And we get bonus points for that. Thank you.
For sure.
All right, very good.
Bye-bye.
Bye, see you next week.
Yep, take care. Thank you.